Hello, my name is Scott Oldfield. This video is going to talk about one of the top issues or defects that I found during my career in policing, which was emergency brakes and parking brakes. Just so you're aware, if you operate a vehicle on the roadway, you are required to have two braking systems. The one which we're already aware of, which is our normal hydraulic brakes, as in this truck here. The second one would be to make sure that our parking brake or emergency brake is also working. If you happen to take your truck, in this case on the road, and your emergency brake was found to be not working, you're going to be looking at a fine of minimum $390, and it would be considered a major defect under the Highway Traffic Act, or if you're even to look under the equipment section, you'd be looking up to $490. These fines would go towards the company and driver. So you have to look at what would our consequences be by not having a proper braking system on the road if it fails. Well, one, if it's during a safety blitz, our truck is going to be taken off the road and impounded or held until it's actually been fixed at the roadside or towed and taken to a garage. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to go through the truck and we're going to show you how to properly test your emergency braking system so you can feel confident once you're on the roadway that it is properly working. Okay, so at this point, if you're stopped for vehicle inspection or if the morning when you're starting your shift, how to properly check the vehicle, we're going to walk through this step by step so you can see how it should be properly done. So I'm going to ask my friend and driver, could you please depress the parking brake for me and push it down as far as it will go. And now that we're in drive, I'm going to ask the driver to take his foot off the brake. Now with his foot off the brake, we can see the truck is in idle and the truck is not moving. This shows us at this point in the test that the emergency brake is holding. The next point, I'm going to ask the driver to put the truck into reverse and take the foot off the brake. And as you can see, we're not moving in reverse either. So we know the truck is working at this point on its emergency brake. Please put the truck back into park. The next test that we should do is to make sure that we're not in a little bit of depression or there's something in front of the tires that might be acting as a little bit of a brake or a hill that we're unaware of. So the next thing we would do is we would ask the driver, or you would put your truck in what we call light throttle. So when I say light throttle, first check your RPM. And the RPM here at idle is sitting at 500 RPM. So when I say light throttle, I'm only talking 700 RPM. So I would ask the driver again, emergency brake is still depressed, put the truck into drive, and slowly give the truck, bring your RPM up to 500 or 700. Hold it there. Very good, release. And that's it. So at this point now, we are now assured that our emergency brake is properly working on the truck and that we're not going to have any issues. And I'll ask the driver to put the truck back into park and release the brake. And I will say this one last little caveat. If you should take the truck, put it on the emergency brake and it moves forward, stop, put the truck back into park, release the emergency brake and reset it, and make sure you put it all the way down to the floor. If you do this test every day that your truck goes on the road, you can be guaranteed that that emergency brake will work for the duration of the annual safety. The next thing that we will want to test is we want to test our trailer brakes. Your trailer requires a braking system when it actually weighs over 1,360 kilograms, and that is actual weight. If you do not have a brake controller and you're going to haul a load this heavy, you would actually have to buy an aftermarket unit and have it properly installed. He's going to set his gain for me up to the maximum just to this point to make sure the brakes connect, so we're going to set it up to 10. And so I'm going to ask the driver to actually activate the trailer brake, put the truck into drive, and release the brakes. And as we can now see, the trailer brakes are holding the truck in idle. And that tells us now that our trailer brakes are working. Driver, please put the truck back into park. You may release the brake controller on the trailer and set your gain back down to what you would normally travel with on the roadway. The next thing I would like you to do is if you could pop open the hood for me. While we're at the truck, an inspector would also check your hydraulic system. This is easily done by actually checking the reservoir and while you're looking around the truck to see if you have any leaks from any of your hydraulic connections. So in this case, we'll then take a look at our brake reservoir to make sure that we actually do have hydraulic fluid in it. But if you just give it a little bit of a shake like that, you can actually see the liquid moving, so I can see I have hydraulic fluid. By checking that, we now know that our hydraulic system is properly working and that we're not having any issues with it. The last thing we would look at the trailer, as there would be two braking systems on the trailer, you would have an electrical brake system, which we have on this one, or surge brakes, which this trailer does not have. If you had surge brakes, you would actually have to physically open the reservoir, which would be on the tongue of the trailer, to check that you have hydraulic fluid. If there is not any hydraulic fluid in the trailer, it needs to be quickly refilled, and then you need to be checking for any leaks. Thanks very much for watching this video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to get a hold of us at try-shield.ca.